Welcome to another episode of Treasure Corals, and in today's video we're gonna take a tour of this Reef aquarium. I have a few issues with it that I'd like to discuss. Some of them have to do with the coloration of my SPS corals. We're also gonna get an update into my new Waterbox Infinia aquarium and its status. I'm also gonna talk about a new product that I'm using on this aquarium, which you can see right over here. And then finally, we will talk about Flow and the app that I use for my Aqua Illumination products and what I'm doing now. So let's dive right in. It's time to do a monthly walk around the aquarium, but before I'm gonna do this, I wanna show you this new device that I have recently purchased. This is a 5-inch flipper magnifying glass, and this thing is awesome. I already have a 4-inch, and yeah, I do have a bit of a scratch on my water box. This thing unfortunately does scratch if you're not too careful, but anyways, let's take a look over here. So this is a 5-inch version of flipper, and this allows to set it up on a tank that's 3/4 of an inch thick glass. So it's really awesome. I really like it. You can really examine the corals, their health, and just kind of get a different perspective on the minutia of your reef aquarium. So I think it's super valuable. Sometimes you want to check for pests or just the pigmentation, or just get a few things up close. And you can do this with this flipper. So I have a 4-inch, I have a 5-inch over here, and I also got a 3-inch from one of my smaller aquariums, and I do use them fairly regularly. So, but going back to what's going on with my tank. So a few things. First of all, two of my gonies, this one and the big one on the left, the green ones, have closed off. So I don't know what's causing it. Let's take a look at this one here. So you can see the red goni, which is actually more temperamental, should be hiding, but it's not. But the green one hasn't come out in probably a week now. So it's a little bit concerning. I don't know why. I also am noticing that my phosphate has been dropping naturally by itself. Some of my viewers know that I've been battling with high phosphates in this aquarium for a very, very long time. And I haven't done anything differently, but just my phosphates started to come down, and while it's a welcome change, it's one of those things where maybe that's what's reacting. But anyways, going on to the corals. Corals are looking pretty decent. I do think that the coloration is improving just in general. I'm getting really nice colors on the rainbow loom. Let's take a look from the top. As a matter of fact, I think that's gonna make it a little bit easier. So to all of you who are saying that this is not an Oregon tort, I beg to differ. I think it is an Oregon tort. Right next to it, this is the Miyagi tort on the left, which is a little bit not as colorful as I would hope it to be. Maybe I need to crank up the lighting, or again, maybe just let the nature do its course. Now, on the back there, this is the teal tort, and this one is Oregon tort. I just have it growing in a different formation, I think primarily because there is an MP40 that's hitting right above it. And I think that's what's causing it, this very strange, very dense formation. I think it's depending on the flow. I think it came from my big tort that I had in the center. And this guy was a beauty. It was huge. It was very colorful. This one just grows a little bit differently. But yeah, I do notice that some of the colors are not as bright, and I'm not sure yet what to make of it. Now, this island over here has been growing. Now I have this encrusting Monty that is starting to encrust over coral, so I need to go in there and clean it up, which is what I'm going to do soon. This island needs a lot of pruning, lots of coral over here. And one big thing that I'm thinking now, after having listened to Reef Builder's interview with Steve, the Oregon Reef guy, he was all over having lots of sand that looks nice and clean in the aquarium. And I'm thinking maybe this is too crowded. Maybe my reef tank is I just got too many things going on here, and maybe that's not adding to the look. So one thought that I had was to take some of the corals over here that are just kind of occupying every single spot, every single surface, and instead actually trying to move the sand from the back over here, clean it up, and see how the tank is going to look with some sand. Maybe that's going to be the next project for this aquarium. Also you can see the orange passion is looking really good. So some corals looking great, some corals are, I've seen better. Like, I mean, I don't know why my Miyagi tort is kind of so brownish. Maybe it's not enough par, but maybe it's something else. Again, if you have any thoughts, please let me know. Maybe I should increase my lighting duration a little bit, maybe add another hour. So that's one other option I have. But nothing has died. This Superman Monty doesn't look too good because I've actually broken off a few pieces of this undata, and obviously the coral wasn't getting any light underneath it, so some of it has died off. But again, I think it's slowly gonna come back. So this is the state of my treasure reef as of end of April. And let me know once again on what I can be doing to improve it. I always thrive for continuous improvement. And by the way, I have removed the two MP40s on the back. So recently I've been running only with two MP40s, and I don't think I have any issues when it comes to that. Well, this is the current status of my new Infinia 165 aquarium. So you can see that it's now standing in the room. I was able to bring in both the sump and the tank itself. And one of the reasons I've picked this size as opposed to going a little bit bigger is I think this is perfect balance in terms of movability when it comes to an aquarium like that. Because my other water box, the 5 feet, is it's actually a lot heavier. The glass is 3/4 inch. This one I think is 5/8. It's one size smaller. And this I'm able to lift with one more person. So if you do some deadlifts and if you work out, you should probably not have too much trouble doing it. You still need one more person to help spot. So I used buckets to place it on the ground, and it was actually fairly manageable. And even now, if I want to move it, which I will, because I'm going to be leveling it and I'm going to be I still haven't found the final place. This is pretty good, but I'm not sure if that's really where this is going to go. Maybe I'm going to center it in the room. This room is fairly small, so and this is kind of the wall that I want it on. So I may have to figure it out, which I haven't done yet. So that's the state of the aquarium. So let's just quickly take a look at what's inside, so you can see that's yet another wrapper. So I don't know how many wrappers there have been. This one, then there's on top another one. There's probably 6 different wrappers that protect the glass and the cabinet. So you're guaranteed to get something pristine. There's also this quality past sticker, so there's that. Let's take a look underneath. I actually have to put the opening thing back, but right now this is what it looks like. So you can see the sump is underneath, and I am on the fence yet on what I'm going to do with the sump, because this is a beautiful sump that I might use, or I'm also contemplating actually running this and plugging it into the tank in the basement, which is my big frag tank, which obviously has its own pluses and minuses. My biggest concern is whether the Vectra M2, so their medium-size pump, is going to be enough to bring the, this is standard floors, so basically, I don't know, maybe 11 feet, meaning, it's 8 feet in the bottom, or it's actually a little bit smaller, but then you got another 2-3 feet that actually going to go even a little bit higher. So that would be the biggest challenge. But I think the head pressure for the M2 is at least, I think 21 feet. So should in theory be okay. And obviously if I will run it and connect it, then I don't need to do water changes. I don't need to worry about evaporation. It's going to be a lot quieter. So there are many, many pluses, and plus I recently visited a friend who also got a water box, and he did exactly that. So that kind of gave me this idea. But on the other hand, that's also a lot of work. I need to figure out how to drill, how to run it. There's more plumbing, and it's going to be even more plumbing in the basement. So I'm not sure what's the best course of action is. Now, another thing to keep in mind, this is a higher stand than my previous water box. So my previous water box, I think, is 36-inch high stand. This guy is actually 38. Those 2 inches make things definitely taller. So if you're walking by the tank, it's nicer. If you're sitting down, which is what I'm going to be doing a lot more, it's probably you're going to be looking up. May or may not be an issue, depending also on the aquascape, and I have some ideas on that. So that's basically just me rambling on where we are with this water box. So while this is empty and I haven't committed yet, share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what things I should consider. Also, let me know what you think I might do with the overall aquascape, because I don't want to do the same thing as I have done in my previous tanks. I'm actually even contemplating doing a biotope of some sort. So lots of thoughts, lots of things to do, and I'll talk more about the equipment in the upcoming videos. I think there's going to be a few surprises. In terms of my choices, we'll see. So it's going to be interesting. Let's just put it this way. So let me know, and I can't wait to get this thing wet. One of the best feelings is getting the sand in, the white sand, getting the pumps and turning it on, and introducing a few fish. And since I have quite a few coral and established rock and whatnot, it's probably going to be closer to like an instant cycle, which I've done many times before. Sometimes it feels good to install a new app on your phone, and sometimes it feels good to delete it. And today I'm deleting MyAI Aqua Illumination application, which I have been using to manage my Nero products as well as Hydra 64 HGs, which you can see behind me, that have been lighting this aquarium for several years. Why? Because Mobius, the new app by Ecotech, is now supporting Aqua Illumination products. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time. You still need to send an email to support to have it enabled for your setup. I'm sure at some point it's just gonna be enabled by default for everybody, but you just email Ecotech from the email address that you use for Mobius. Tell them that you want to be turned on for Aqua Illumination, and then you'll be able to see the devices in your Mobius app. And I'm one of the early adopters of Mobius. I think it has improved significantly from where it started. I think it was a bit bumpy at first, but right now this is an app that I use every single day. Even right now, to shoot this video, I just have a scene which I have configured on my phone. I press one button and the whole aquarium pauses. So I'm using my Apex less and less. It's mostly for monitoring. And my full interaction with the aquarium is now done through Mobius. If there's one pet peeve that I have with the Mobius app right now, is that if I'm doing the scenes, it's not easy. While there is a kind of a workaround to turn off the pumps, but you can't really easily do that. So there's no way to just say, hey, I want a scene where the lighting is going to change to a certain spectrum, but also turn off the flow. You can only go to 1%, so there's always a little bit of movement. I get that one of the reasons they've done it is because of the snails, and I actually have had it in the past where the snail would crawl into an MP40 when I was doing some maintenance, and you don't notice it, and it results in sometimes a bigger problem. If you don't have your MP40 secured, it'll drop and it may actually damage the product. But I digress. The most important thing, one less app to use. There's one button and you can control all of the devices on your aquarium, and this is exactly what I have set up on this aquarium here as well as on my farm. It's great that the two families have now merged, and only the future will tell us what further integration with other brands there may be. But right now, if you haven't done it, I would strongly recommend. I mean, obviously beware of any issues, but I've been running this for probably 2 weeks now and I haven't had any problems whatsoever. So it integrates, similar interface, and I think the benefits outweigh any possible issues. You do need to go through the process of updating the legacy firmware and all of that good stuff, but I don't think it's a big deal. So anyways, if you want to try it, now is the time to do it. So kudos to Ecotech and Aqua Illumination team for making such an awesome product, and I can't wait to see more and more new features come out of it, because this is definitely one of the best softwares out there for reefing family and aquarium family in general. Even my freshwater aquariums are being configured and managed through Mobius. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have any topics you want me to cover in the upcoming videos, please write in the comments below.